Your hands feel cold, even in a warm room. Your brain feels slow by 2 in the afternoon. You wake up tired, even after 8 full hours of sleep. And here is what every doctor, every article, every well-meaning person in your life has told you. It is just stress. It is just getting older. It is just how you are. But what if none of that is true? What if the real reason you feel this way has nothing to do with your age, your stress levels, or your willpower, and everything to do with something happening silently inside 60,000 miles of tubes running through your body right now? Here is the myth we are busting today. Cardiovascular health is about your heart. Your heart is not the problem. Your heart is doing its job beautifully. What is failing you, quietly, invisibly, over years, is the network your heart is trying to push blood through, the pipes themselves. And when those pipes start to malfunction, the symptoms do not show up as chest pain first. They show up as brain fog, cold hands and feet, fatigue that no amount of sleep touches. This is the silent flow trap. And today, we go inside it. If you want the hidden science of the human body, not generic health advice, hit subscribe. Now, let us dive in.
Let us start with a picture. Imagine your body is a vast city, a living, breathing metropolis of 37 trillion citizens, your cells. Every single one of those citizens needs oxygen delivered to their door 3 to 4 times per minute, every minute of every day you are alive. Your cardiovascular system is the highway network that makes those deliveries happen. And your blood vessels, the arteries, veins, and microscopic capillaries are not passive pipes. They are intelligent, living infrastructure. They expand, they contract, they communicate. They respond to signals from your nervous system, your immune system, your gut, and your hormones in real time. Which means, when we talk about your blood vessels aging, we are not talking about your pipes simply getting old. We are talking about a living communication network that is slowly losing the ability to send and receive signals correctly. And that changes everything about how we approach the fix. Here is where most people's understanding stops and where the real story begins. Lining the inside of every single blood vessel in your body is a thin, single-cell thick layer called the endothelium. Think of it as the interior coating of your entire highway system. Every on-ramp, every lane, every tunnel, coated in this living, active layer. But the endothelium is not just a passive coating. It is the most sophisticated traffic control system your body has ever engineered. When your muscles need more blood during exercise, the endothelium sends a chemical signal, nitric oxide, that tells the vessel walls to relax and widen, increasing blood flow exactly where it is needed. When you are injured and need clotting, the endothelium shifts chemistry to allow platelets to adhere. When pathogens enter the bloodstream, the endothelium coordinates the immune response, deciding what crosses into tissue and what does not. It is the 911 dispatcher, the traffic controller, and the security guard of your entire circulatory system, all in one microscopic layer. Now here is where things get critical. When this dispatcher is healthy, blood moves freely, vessels flex beautifully, and your cells get exactly what they need precisely when they need it. When this dispatcher is overwhelmed, research consistently shows this is a primary driver of the cold hands, the afternoon brain fog, and that relentless, bone-deep fatigue you cannot seem to shake. The medical term for this state is endothelial dysfunction, and emerging evidence suggests it is one of the most underdiagnosed contributors to how humans feel on a daily basis, long before any formal cardiovascular disease diagnosis ever appears. So what is overwhelming the endothelium? What is sending it into dysfunction? Three forces working simultaneously, often invisible.
Force 1. Chronic low-grade inflammation. If you watched our previous episode on chronic inflammation, you already know this villain. But here is what we did not cover there. The endothelium is ground zero for inflammatory damage in the vascular system. Think of chronic inflammation as a slow fire burning inside the walls of your highway. The endothelium tries to manage it, but sustained inflammatory molecules, particularly a protein called C-reactive protein and a family of signaling chemicals called cytokines, essentially jam the dispatcher's radio. The nitric oxide signals get disrupted. Vessels stop relaxing properly. Blood flow becomes inefficient. Research consistently shows this inefficiency is a primary driver of that pressure behind the eyes, the heaviness in the limbs, and the cognitive slowness that people frequently describe as feeling like they are thinking through wet cement. Force 2. Oxidative stress, the rust inside your pipes. Your cells constantly produce byproducts called free radicals as a result of normal energy production. Under healthy conditions, antioxidant systems neutralize them quickly. But when the system is overwhelmed by poor sleep, ultra-processed food, chronic psychological stress, or environmental toxins, free radicals begin accumulating inside the endothelial cells themselves. Imagine your highway's interior coating slowly rusting from the inside. That rust is real. It is called oxidative endothelial damage, and emerging evidence suggests it directly impairs nitric oxide production, meaning vessels lose their ability to flex and dilate when the body needs them to. The result? Blood reaches your periphery, your hands, your feet, your brain, with less efficiency, less pressure, and less oxygen than your cells are waiting for. Force 3. The stiffness spiral. When vessels lose their elasticity. Your arteries were designed to flex. Every heartbeat sends a pressure wave through the arterial system, and healthy vessels absorb that wave by expanding and contracting like a living elastic band. But when endothelial dysfunction persists, the vessel walls begin to undergo structural changes. The elastic fibers break down. Collagen, a stiffer protein, begins to replace them. The technical term is arterial stiffness, and it creates what researchers call a vicious feedback loop. Stiff vessels cannot absorb pressure waves efficiently. This forces the heart to work harder still.
The extra mechanical stress damages the endothelium further, which accelerates stiffness, which forces the heart to work harder still. Think of it as a garden hose that has been left in the sun for 10 years. It no longer bends without cracking. It no longer absorbs pressure without resistance. And the pump at the end, your heart, has to push against all of that resistance with every single beat, every minute of every day.
This mechanism activates gradually over years, but it reaches its absolute peak expression in the next phase of this story. And that is where the biology gets genuinely strange, because the place where this stiffness shows up first is almost never where people expect. The conventional view of vascular disease is that it shows up in the large arteries first, the coronary arteries, the carotid arteries, and is detected through blood pressure readings and cholesterol panels. But emerging research is painting a very different picture. The damage, the dysfunction, the stiffness, the loss of signaling begins in the microcirculation first. The tiny capillaries and microscopic arterioles that deliver blood to your brain tissue, your gut lining, your muscles, and your skin. And a standard blood pressure cuff measures none of this, which is why you can sit across from a doctor with a normal blood pressure reading and still feel completely terrible, because the macro system is compensating, but the micro system, the one feeding your cells directly, is already struggling. This is also the bridge connecting what we explored in our gut health and sleep science episodes directly to this conversation. The gut lining is one of the most microvascularly dense tissues in the human body. Poor microcirculation frequently leads to compromised gut barrier function, and chronically disrupted sleep, as we covered previously, is one of the strongest accelerators of endothelial dysfunction that research has identified. These systems are not separate. They are chapters in the same biological story. Your body has been trying to tell you something for a very long time. It expressed it through your sleep, through your digestion, and now through your blood flow. The signal has not changed. Only the organ making the noise has. Which means your fix is not a new supplement or another diet. You need to reset the biological signal your body has been trying to send correctly all along. Here is exactly how we do it. Quick note, please consult your doctor before making significant changes, especially if you have a diagnosed condition or are on medication.
Step 1. Reactivate your nitric oxide production. The endothelium's most powerful repair signal is nitric oxide, and the good news is that its production is directly stimulatable through specific dietary inputs. Foods highest in dietary nitrates, dark leafy greens like arugula, spinach, and beetroot, are converted by bacteria on your tongue and in your gut into nitric oxide precursors. Research consistently shows that regular consumption of these foods is a primary driver of improved endothelial function and measurable reductions in arterial stiffness within weeks.
Practical target: 2 to 3 servings of nitrate-rich vegetables daily. Chew slowly. The saliva contact with your tongue bacteria is a required step in the conversion process. Do not skip it by swallowing too fast. Step 2. Remove the endothelial disruptors. The stiffness spiral requires fuel to run. Cut the fuel. The 3 most research-supported endothelial disruptors in modern diet and lifestyle are refined seed oils high in omega-6 fatty acids, added fructose in processed foods, and chronic sleep deprivation below 6 hours.
These 3 inputs, in combination, create the oxidative stress and inflammatory environment that overwhelms the endothelial dispatcher. Emerging evidence suggests that removing even 2 of the 3 produces measurable improvements in vascular flexibility markers within 4 to 8 weeks. This is not about perfection. It is about reducing the biological load enough for the system to begin recovering. Step 3. Use movement as vascular medicine. Your blood vessels were designed for rhythmic mechanical stimulation. Every time you walk, cycle, or swim at a moderate pace, the increased blood flow creates a mechanical force against the vessel walls called laminar shear stress. This force is the most potent natural signal for endothelial repair and nitric oxide upregulation that we have identified in human biology. You do not need intensity. You need consistency. Research consistently shows that 22 minutes of moderate intensity movement daily, the kind where you can still hold a conversation, is a primary driver of long-term endothelial health and measurable reductions in arterial stiffness across all age groups. Walk after meals.
This is not incidental advice. Post-meal walking reduces the glycemic spike that would otherwise create a surge of endothelial oxidative stress within 2 hours of eating. Step 4. Prioritize the repair window. The endothelium heals primarily at night during deep, uninterrupted sleep. This is where our sleep science episode loops directly back in. Growth hormone, released almost exclusively during slow-wave sleep, is a primary signaling molecule for endothelial cell regeneration. When you cut sleep short or fragment it, you are not simply feeling tired. You are actively interrupting the vascular repair cycle your body runs on a nightly basis. Target 7 to 9 hours.
a consistent sleep and wake time, even on weekends. The circadian rhythm of the endothelium is real and measurable, and disrupting it accelerates the very stiffness spiral we have been tracking throughout this episode. Here is what we want you to take from this. The symptoms you have been told to accept, the cold hands, the foggy afternoons, the sleep that does not restore you, are not character flaws. They are not inevitabilities of aging. They are signals from a living, intelligent system that is asking for specific inputs it has not been receiving. Your blood vessels are not broken. They are waiting for conditions that allow them to work the way they were always designed to work. And now you know what those conditions are.
Before you go, we want to know one thing. Which of these symptoms made you click on this video? Drop your answer below. You can keep it simple. Fog, the afternoon brain slowdown that hits like a wall. Cold, hands and feet that never seem to warm up. Tired, exhausted even after sleeping enough. All. You felt all three, and this video found you at the right moment. Your answer helps us build the next episode of this series around what you actually feel. Every comment shapes what comes next. And one final thing, share this with one person who has been told their symptoms are just stress or just aging, because the science says otherwise, and they deserve to know that too. See you in the next one.